Commander Zek-9 stood on the bridge of his massive warship. His 6 eyes looked down at the small blue planet below. Earth looked so peaceful from space. White clouds moved slowly across green and brown land. The oceans sparkled in the light of the yellow star. "Such a tiny world," Zek-9 said to his second-in-command. "How can these humans be so weak and still survive?" Lieutenant Vor-3 checked his data pad. "Our scouts say they fight each other all the time. They have many different groups that hate each other. They use simple weapons. Nothing like our plasma cannons and energy shields." Zek-9 laughed. It was a harsh sound that echoed through the metal halls of the ship. "Perfect. A divided enemy is a weak enemy. We will take this planet in 3 days. Maybe less." The Korthax Empire had been growing for thousands of years. They had conquered over 500 worlds. Every planet fell the same way. First, they would study the people. Then they would attack the strongest cities. Fear would spread. The people would give up without much fighting. Earth would be no different. At least that is what Zek-9 thought. "Sir, we have 1,000 ships ready," Vor-3 reported. "Each ship has 500 warriors. Our weapons are charged. Our shields are strong." Zek-9 nodded. 500,000 Korthax warriors against a few billion humans. It did not seem fair. But the Korthax were not interested in being fair. They wanted Earth's water, its metals, and its good farming land. "Begin the attack," Zek-9 ordered. The first ships entered Earth's sky just as the sun was rising over a city called New York. People on the streets looked up and pointed. Some took pictures with their phones. They thought it might be some kind of show or movie being made. Then the ship started shooting. Blue energy beams hit the tall buildings. Glass and metal fell like rain. People screamed and ran in all directions. Cars crashed into each other as drivers tried to escape. But something strange happened. The humans did not just run away and hide. Instead, they started fighting back. Military jets flew up to meet the alien ships. The pilots knew their missiles might not work against the strange technology, but they tried anyway. Some jets were destroyed quickly. Others managed to damage the alien ships before going down. On the ground, soldiers set up big guns and started shooting at the ships that flew low. Police officers helped people get to safety while also trying to fight. Even normal people picked up rocks and threw them at the alien warriors who landed in the streets. Zek-9 watched the battle from his command ship. He frowned with all 6 eyes. "They are fighting harder than expected," he said. "Yes, sir." Vor-3 agreed. "Our scouts said they would give up quickly, but look at this." On the screen, they could see a human soldier. The soldier was hurt and bleeding. His weapon was broken, but he still stood in front of a building full of children. When 3 Korthax warriors came toward him, he picked up a piece of metal and charged at them. "Foolish," Zek-9 said, "but brave." The fighting went on for hours. The Korthax were winning, but it was taking much longer than planned. Every human they defeated seemed to make the others fight even harder. Then something happened that Zek-9 had never seen before in all his years of conquest. A message came from the human leaders. But it was not asking for mercy or offering to surrender. Instead, it was a warning. "Attention, alien forces," the voice said in clear Korthax language. Someone had learned their language very quickly. "You have made a mistake. You think we are weak because we are divided. You are wrong. When outsiders attack our world, we become one people. We become one army. Leave now or face the consequences." Zek-9 laughed again, but this time it sounded less sure. "Empty words. They have nothing that can hurt us." But Vor-3 was looking at his sensors with worry. "Sir, I am seeing strange readings from all over the planet. Every country is moving their armies. They are all working together now." "So what?" "Numbers mean nothing against superior technology. Sir, they are doing something else. They are launching something into space. Many things. On the screens, they could see rockets lifting off from different parts of Earth. Not just a few rockets, but hundreds. The humans were sending everything they had into space. "Are they trying to run away?" Zek-9 asked. "No, sir. The rockets are not leaving the planet. They are surrounding us." Zek-9 looked at the tactical display. Red dots were appearing all around his fleet. The humans had somehow managed to get weapons into space very quickly. Too quickly. "How is this possible?" he demanded. Vor-3's voice was shaking now. "Sir, our intelligence was wrong. These humans have been preparing for something like this. Those rockets were already built. They were hidden all over the planet. They have been planning for an invasion. The first human missiles hit the outer ships of the Korthax fleet. The explosions were bright and terrible, but these were not normal explosives. They were something new, something the Korthax had never seen before. "Nuclear weapons," Vor-3 whispered. "They are using nuclear weapons in space." Zek-9 felt fear for the first time in his life. The Korthax had never faced an enemy willing to use such destructive weapons. Most species saved them as a last resort for their own planet. These humans were using them as regular weapons against invaders. "Sir, we are losing ships. The humans are not trying to board or capture them. They are just destroying everything." More explosions lit up space around Earth. The human strategy was simple and terrifying. They did not care about taking prisoners or stealing technology. They just wanted the invaders gone. On the planet below, the fighting continued. But now, it was different. Every human on Earth knew that their planet was being invaded. Old enemies became allies. Different countries shared weapons and information. Rich and poor people fought side by side. The Korthax warriors on the ground found themselves surrounded. The humans seemed to appear from everywhere. They used tactics the aliens had never seen. They were creative and unpredictable. "Pull back our ground forces," Zek-9 ordered. "Get them back to the ships." But it was too late for many of them. The humans had cut off their escape routes. Korthax warriors who had conquered dozens of worlds were being defeated by humans with simple weapons and clever plans. "Sir," Vor-3 said, his voice full of panic, "we have lost 40% of our fleet. The humans show no signs of stopping. They are launching more weapons." Zek-9 stared at the blue planet that had seemed so peaceful just hours before. How had everything gone so wrong so quickly? "Prepare to retreat," he said quietly. "Sir, you heard me. Signal the fleet. We are leaving." But as the remaining Korthax ships tried to fly away from Earth, they found their path blocked by more human rockets. The humans had predicted this too. They were ready for everything. The great Korthax Empire, conqueror of 500 worlds, was being defeated by a species they had thought was weak and divided. And this was only the beginning. 3 days had passed since the failed invasion began. Commander Zek-9 sat in his damaged command chair, staring at reports he could barely believe. Half of his mighty fleet was gone. The other half was trapped in Earth's solar system. "Sir," another. "Supply convoy has been destroyed," Vor-3 reported. His voice was tired and scared. The humans somehow knew exactly where it would come from hyperspace. Zek-9 rubbed his aching head with 4 of his 6 hands. "How do they know our routes? How? Do they know our technology?" The answer came from an unexpected source. A transmission appeared on their main screen. It showed a human woman sitting at a desk. She looked calm and professional, like she was giving a news report. "Greetings, Korthax Empire," she said in perfect Korthax language. "My name is Dr. Sarah Chen. I am speaking for the United Earth Defense Council. We have been studying your species for quite some time." Zek-9 leaned forward. "Impossible. We just discovered this planet." The human woman smiled. "No, Commander Zek-9, you discovered us decades ago. Your scout ships have been visiting our system for 40 years. Did you think we would not notice?" On the screen behind Dr. Chen, images appeared. They showed Korthak's scout ships being tracked by human satellites. They showed pieces of alien technology being studied in secret laboratories. They showed human scientists working with captured alien equipment. Every time you sent a scout ship, we learned more about you, Dr. Chen continued. We studied your language, your technology, your battle tactics. We prepared for the day you would come to invade us. Vor 3 whispered to his commander. The intelligence? Reports never mentioned this. Our scouts said the humans were primitive. Our scouts were fools, Zek 9 replied. Or the humans are much cleverer than we thought. Dr. Chen was still talking. You see, Commander, humans have one ability that seems to be rare in the galaxy. We learn from our mistakes very quickly. More importantly, we learn from the mistakes of others. New images appeared on the screen. They showed other alien ships, not Korthak's ones. Ships from different species that had also tried to invade Earth. Over the years, you were not the first aliens to visit us, Dr. Chen explained. The Valok Empire tried to invade us 12 years ago. The Drakmor Collective tried 8 years ago. The Zeth Commonwealth tried 4 years ago. Each time we learned something new. Zek 9 felt sick. What happened to them? The same thing that is happening to you now. They underestimated humanity. They thought we were weak because we fight among ourselves. They were wrong. The transmission showed footage of space battles. Human ships that looked crude and simple were destroying sleek alien vessels. The tactics were brutal and effective. You see, we do fight each other, Dr. Chen said. But that fighting has made us very good at war. We have been practicing for thousands of years. Every human culture has developed different ways to fight. When we combine all of our knowledge, we become very dangerous. Zek 9 watched as the footage showed human soldiers from different countries working together. They used weapons and tactics from dozens of different military traditions. The result was chaos for their enemies. The Valok thought their energy shields made them invincible, Dr. Chen continued, until we used their own scout ship technology to build weapons that could penetrate those shields. The Drakmor believed their hive mind gave them perfect coordination, until we learned to jam their communications and turn that coordination against them. More footage showed alien armies in retreat, their ships burning in space, their soldiers surrendering on distant worlds. And you, Commander Zek 9, believed that our divisions made us weak. You planned to use our conflicts against us. Instead, you gave us a common enemy. You united every human on Earth in a way that nothing else could. The transmission switched to show scenes from Earth. Soldiers from countries that had been enemies just days before were now fighting side by side. Scientists from rival nations were sharing their most secret weapons. Politicians who had spent years arguing were now working together with perfect harmony. This is impossible, Zek 9 muttered. No species can change so quickly. Humans can, Dr. Chen replied, as if she had heard him. It is what we do best. We adapt, we evolve, we survive. The screen now showed human factories working at full speed. They were building weapons, ships, and armor using a combination of human and alien technology. The pace of production was incredible. In 3 days, we have built more weapons than your intelligence predicted we could make in 3 years, Dr. Chen said. Our entire species is now focused on one goal: protecting our world from invaders like you. Zek 9 looked around his bridge. His crew was scared and confused. They had trained their whole lives to conquer planets. They had never faced anything like this. What do you want? Zek 9 asked. Right now we want you to leave, Dr. Chen replied. But we know you cannot. Your hyperspace engines are damaged. Your supply lines are cut. Your reinforcements are too far away to help. It was true. The humans had somehow learned about Korthak's technology faster than should have been possible. They knew exactly which systems to target to trap the invasion. Fleet. So we are prepared to offer you a choice, Dr. Chen continued. Surrender now, and we will treat your soldiers with honor. Continue fighting, and we will destroy every one of your ships." "You are bluffing," Zek-9 said. "You cannot possibly have enough weapons to destroy our entire fleet." Dr. Chen smiled again. This time, it was not a friendly smile. "Would you like to test that theory, Commander?" The transmission ended. The bridge was silent except for the humming of damaged equipment. "Sir," Vor 3 said quietly, "our sensors are picking up massive energy readings from Earth. They are powering up something very large." On their tactical display, red warning lights began flashing all around the planet. Whatever the humans were preparing, it was bigger than anything they had used so far. "Sir, we are receiving surrender offers from some of our ships," another officer reported. "They are requesting permission to give up." Zek-9 closed all 6 of his eyes. In 3 days, the mighty Korthax Empire had been brought to its knees by a species they had thought was primitive and divided. The humans had turned out to be neither primitive nor divided when it mattered. "Sir, what are your orders?" Zek-9 looked at Earth one more time. The blue planet looked the same as it had 3 days ago. Peaceful and beautiful. But now he knew the truth. That peaceful appearance hid the most dangerous species he had ever encountered. "Open a channel to all ships," he said finally. "Sir, prepare," a message to the human leaders. "Tell them." He paused, struggling with words he had never thought he would say. "Tell them we wish to discuss terms of surrender." The bridge crew stared at him in shock. The Korthax Empire did not surrender. Ever. But the Korthax Empire had also never faced humans before. As the message was sent, Zek-9 wondered how he would explain this defeat to the Imperial High Command. How could he tell them that 500,000 of the Empire's best warriors had been defeated by a species that still used chemical rockets and metal bullets? How could he explain that the humans had been preparing for this invasion longer than the Korthax had been planning it? Most importantly, how could he explain that humanity was not just another primitive species to be conquered, but possibly the most dangerous enemy the Empire had ever faced? The answer was simple. He could not explain it. No one would believe it until they faced the humans themselves, and Zek-9 very much hoped that day would never come. The negotiations took place on a neutral space station that the humans had built in just 2 days. Commander Zek-9 could not believe how quickly they had constructed it. The station was a mix of human and alien technology, showing that the humans had been studying captured alien equipment for years. Dr. Sarah Chen met Zek-9 at the docking bay. She was smaller than most Korthax, but something about her presence made even the battle-hardened commander feel nervous. "Welcome, Commander," she said politely. "I hope your journey was comfortable." Zek-9 looked around the station. Human soldiers stood at attention along the walls. Their weapons were a combination of human and alien technology. More importantly, they showed no fear of the Korthax delegation. "Your space station is impressive," Zek-9 admitted. "How did you build it so quickly?" "We have been preparing for this meeting for 40 years, Dr. Chen replied. "We knew that someday we would need to negotiate with an alien empire. We wanted to do it from a position of strength." They walked through corridors that looked both human and alien at the same time. Zek-9 noticed that the station's design incorporated defensive features from multiple alien species. The humans had learned from everyone who had tried to invade them. "Tell me," Dr. Chen said as they walked, "what do you know about human history?" "Very little," Zek-9 admitted. "Our scouts reported that you fight each other constantly. They said you were divided and weak." Dr. Chen smiled. "We do fight each other, but not in the way your scouts understood. Human conflict has made us stronger, not weaker." They entered a large conference room. Around the table sat representatives from every major nation on Earth. Military officers, scientists, diplomats, and leaders from around the world. They all looked at Zek-9 with the same expression, respect, but no fear. "Commander," Dr. Chen said, Meet the United Earth Defense Council. For the first time in human history, every nation on our planet is working together. You gave us something we never had before, a common purpose. General Martinez from South America stood up. Commander Zek 9, I have fought wars for 30 years. I have never seen anything like what happened in the past week. Every human on Earth became a soldier in the defense of our world. Admiral Nakamura from Japan nodded. Our fleets combined into one force overnight. Ships that had been pointing weapons at each other turned those same weapons toward your invasion force. Professor Okafor from Africa leaned forward. Our scientists shared research that had been secret for decades. Weapons programs that were hidden from our own allies became part of a global defense network. Zek 9 sat down heavily. I do not understand. How can you trust each other so quickly after centuries of conflict? Because, Dr. Chen explained, our conflicts taught us something important. We learned that humans are at their best when facing a common threat. Our wars made us better at working together when it truly matters. She activated a holographic display that showed Earth's history. Images of human wars, disasters, and challenges flashed by. Every time humans have faced extinction, we have found a way to survive, Dr. Chen continued. Ice ages, plagues, natural disasters, wars. Each challenge made us stronger and more adaptable. The display showed humans spreading across their planet, developing technology, exploring space. Your scouts saw our conflicts and thought they made us weak. They did not understand that conflict is how humans learn and grow. Every war taught us new tactics. Every disaster taught us new ways to survive. Zek 9 watched the images. He was beginning to understand something that no Korthax had ever realized about humans. You use conflict as training, he said slowly. Exactly, General Martinez replied. Every human military learns from the successes and failures of every other human military. When we fight each other, we are actually teaching each other how to be better warriors. Admiral Nakamura added, Your empire conquers other species and absorbs their technology. Humans do something different. We fight ourselves and absorb each other's knowledge. Professor Okafor smiled. The result is that every human soldier has access to thousands of years of combined military experience from every culture on our planet. Zek 9 felt a chill run through his body. That is why your tactics were so unpredictable. You were using strategies from dozens of different military traditions at the same time. More than that, Dr. Chen said. We were also using everything. We learned from studying your previous invasion attempts and those of other alien species. The holographic display changed to show space battles from the past 20 years. Zek 9 recognized ships from several alien empires that had tried to invade Earth. The Velok Empire attacked with overwhelming force, Dr. Chen explained. So we learned to use their own strength against them. The Drakmor Collective used perfect coordination. So we learned to disrupt that coordination. The Zeth Commonwealth used advanced technology, General Martinez added. So we learned to capture and reverse engineer that technology faster than they could adapt to our countermeasures. And your empire used divide and conquer tactics, Admiral Nakamura said. So we learned to become more united than you thought possible. Zek 9 looked around the table at the human leaders. What happened to the other empires? The ones who invaded before us? The room became very quiet. Dr. Chen's expression grew serious. The Velok Empire no longer exists, she said simply. After their invasion failed, we followed their ships back to their home system. We offered them a choice, surrender or be destroyed. They chose to fight. The Drakmor Collective chose surrender, Professor Okafor continued. They are now a human protectorate. Their worlds are safe, but they serve human interests. The Zeth Commonwealth tried to negotiate, General Martinez said. But they also tried to prepare for a second invasion while pretending to make peace. We had to take action to protect ourselves. Zek 9 felt his blood turn cold. You destroyed entire empires? We defended ourselves, Dr. Chen corrected. Each empire made their own choice about how to respond to their failed invasions. We simply responded to their choices. The holographic display showed human fleets traveling between star systems, ships that looked primitive compared to Korthak's technology, but there were so many of them. "How many ships do you have?" Zek-9 asked quietly. "More than we need to defend Earth," Admiral Nakamura replied. "Fewer than we would need to conquer the galaxy. We are not interested in building an empire, Commander. We just want to be left alone." "But," Dr. Chen added, "we have learned that sometimes the best way to be left alone is to make sure that potential invaders understand the cost of attacking us." Zek-9 understood now why his invasion had failed so completely. The humans were not just defending their world. They were demonstrating their power to discourage future attacks. "What do you want from us?" he asked. Dr. Chen leaned back in her chair. "That depends on what you want, Commander. Do you want to return to your empire and report your failure? Do you want to try to rebuild your fleet and attack again? Or do you want to find a different solution? What kind of different solution?" "The same choice we offered the other empires," Professor Okafor said. "Peace, trade, and mutual respect. The Drakmor Collective chose that path. They are now prosperous and safe under human protection." "Protection?" Zek-9 laughed bitterly. "You mean slavery?" "No," Dr. Chen said firmly. "We mean partnership. The Drakmor keep their own government, their own culture, their own worlds. They simply agree not to attack other species and to help defend against empires that do." General Martinez nodded. "In exchange, they have access to human technology and protection from other aggressive empires. It has worked well for both sides." Zek-9 thought about this. "And if we refuse?" The room became quiet again. Dr. Chen's expression was sad but determined. "Then, you will face the same choice as the Velok Empire," she said. "You can return to your homeworlds and leave us alone forever, or you can try to attack us again. And if we attack again, then we will follow you home," Admiral Nakamura said simply, "and we will end the threat permanently." Zek-9 realized he was sweating. The humans were offering his empire a choice, but it was not really a choice at all. Submit or be destroyed. Those were the only options. "I need to contact my government," he said. "Of course," Dr. Chen agreed. "Take all the time you need. But, Commander, I want you to understand something important." She stood up and walked to a window that looked out at Earth. The blue planet hung in space, beautiful and peaceful as always. "Humans do not want to conquer the galaxy," she said. "We have everything we need right here, but we will do whatever is necessary to protect our world and our way of life." She turned back to face him. "Your empire has a choice to make. You can be our enemy or you can be our partner, but you cannot ignore us anymore." Zek-9 looked at the planet that had destroyed his invasion fleet in 3 days, a world that had united an entire species against him, a species that had turned centuries of conflict into the ultimate defensive advantage. He was beginning to understand that the Korthak's empire was about to face the most important decision in its history, and he was not sure they would make the right choice. Commander Zek-9 stood alone in his quarters aboard the space station, staring at the communication device that would connect him to the Korthak's Imperial High Command. 3 days ago, he had been confident and proud. Now he had to explain the impossible to his superiors. The device activated, and the stern face of Supreme Admiral Kex 1 appeared on the screen. Behind him stood the other members of the High Command, their 6 eyes all focused on Zek-9 with cold disappointment. "Commander," Supreme Admiral Kex 1 said in a voice like ice, "explain to us how 500,000 of our finest warriors were defeated by primitive humans in less than a week." Zek-9 took a deep breath. "Supreme Admiral, the humans are not primitive. Our intelligence was completely wrong." "Wrong how?" another member of the High Command demanded. Our scouts observed them for decades. They fight each other constantly. They use crude weapons. They have no unity. That is what we thought, Zek-9 replied. But we misunderstood what we were seeing. The humans do fight each other, but that fighting has made them the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy. The High Command members looked at each other with expressions of disbelief. Explain, Supreme Admiral Kex-1 ordered. Zek-9 activated his own display, showing footage from the failed invasion. The High Command watched in silence as human forces destroyed Korthak's ships using weapons that should not have existed. The humans have been preparing for invasion for 40 years, Zek-9 explained. Every time any alien species sent scouts to their system, they noticed. They studied our technology. They learned our languages. They prepared for war. Impossible, one High Command member said. No species can advance that quickly. Humans can, Zek-9 replied. They do not just study their enemies, they study each other. Every human culture has developed different ways of fighting. When they unite, they combine all of that knowledge. He showed more footage. Human soldiers from different nations working together, using tactics that the Korthaks had never seen before. They have been fighting wars for thousands of years, Zek-9 continued. But instead of making them weak, those wars made them incredibly strong. Every battle taught them something new. Every defeat made them better. Supreme Admiral Kex-1 leaned forward. You are telling us that their disunity is actually a strength? Yes, Supreme Admiral. When they face an outside threat, their disunity becomes perfect unity. All of their different military traditions combine into one unstoppable force. The footage showed human factories producing weapons at impossible speed, human scientists working together across national boundaries, human politicians putting aside decades of conflict to focus on the invasion. But that is not the worst part, Zek-9 said quietly. There is worse? Supreme Admiral Kex-1 asked. Zek-9 activated another display. This one showed space battles from previous years, involving ships from other alien empires. We are not the first empire to try to invade Earth, he said. The Velok tried 12 years ago. The Drakmor tried 8 years ago. The Zeth tried 4 years ago. The High Command stared at the footage in shock. They recognized the ships from empires that had been major powers in the galaxy. What happened to them? One member whispered. The Velok Empire was completely destroyed, Zek-9 reported. After their invasion failed, the humans followed them home and eliminated them entirely. The Drakmor Collective surrendered, he continued. They are now under human protection, but they serve human interests. The Zeth Commonwealth tried to negotiate while secretly preparing for a second invasion. The humans discovered this and... He paused. The Zeth Commonwealth no longer exists. The communication channel was silent for a long moment. The members of the High Command looked at each other with growing fear. How many ships do the humans have? Supreme Admiral Kex-1 asked. Unknown, Zek-9 replied. But based on what I have seen, they have enough to threaten any empire in the galaxy. They have been building their fleet for decades using technology, stolen from every species that tried to invade them, including our technology. Another High Command member realized. Yes, they captured several of our ships during the invasion. By now, they have probably reverse-engineered our weapons and shields. Supreme Admiral Kex-1 closed all 6 of his eyes. What do they want from us? They have offered us a choice, Zek-9 said. Peace and partnership or destruction. The same choice they offered the other empires. And if we choose peace, we keep our government and our worlds. But we agree never to attack other species again. And we help defend against empires that do attack innocent worlds. That sounds like surrender. One High Command member said angrily. It is surrender, Zek-9 agreed. But it is survival. The alternative is what happened to the Velok and the Zeth. The High Command talked among themselves in hushed voices. Zek-9 could hear fragments of their conversation. Words like impossible and unprecedented and catastrophic failure. Finally, Supreme Admiral Kex 1 spoke again. Commander, in your professional opinion, could we defeat the humans if we sent our entire fleet? Zek 9 thought carefully before answering. Supreme Admiral, the humans defeated our invasion force while fighting with one hand tied behind their back. They were protecting their planet and their civilians at the same time. If we force them to come to our worlds, they will not have those restrictions. You think they could destroy the entire Korthax Empire? I think they could destroy 10 empires like ours, Supreme Admiral. And I think they would do it without hesitation if they believed we were a threat to their world. The High Command was quiet again. Finally, one member asked, "What kind of partnership are they offering?" Zek 9 activated another display, showing trade agreements and defense pacts. The Drakmor Collective has actually become more prosperous, since they agreed to work with the humans. Human technology has improved their standard of living. Human protection has kept them safe from other aggressive empires, but they cannot attack other species? No. The humans have made it clear that any species under their protection must abandon conquest and aggression. But in exchange, they share technology and provide defense against outside threats. Supreme Admiral Kex 1 thought for a long time. Commander, return to your ship. We will discuss this matter and give you our decision within 1 day. The communication ended. Zek 9 sat alone in his quarters, wondering what the High Command would decide. He hoped they would choose wisely. He had seen what humans could do when they were angry. 6 hours later, his communication device activated again. This time, Supreme Admiral Kex 1 looked old and tired. "Commander," he said, "the High Command has made its decision. We will accept the human offer of partnership." Zek 9 felt relief flow through his body. "A wise choice, Supreme Admiral." "Perhaps. But first, we need you to do something that no Korthax commander has ever done before." "What is that, sir?" Supreme Admiral Kex 1 looked directly at him. "We need you to formally apologize to the humans for our invasion. We need you to ask for their forgiveness." Zek 9 felt his heart skip a beat. "Supreme Admiral, you want me to beg?" "Yes, Commander. We want you to beg. The survival of our empire depends on convincing the humans that we are truly sorry for what we tried to do." Zek 9 thought about his proud warrior culture. Korthax did not apologize. They did not beg. They conquered or they died fighting. But they had never faced humans before. "I understand, Supreme Admiral," he said quietly. "I will do whatever is necessary to save our people." "Good. The High Command is sending detailed terms for the partnership. Study them carefully. Make sure the humans understand that we are sincere about peace." The communication ended. Zek 9 sat in his chair, thinking about how much his life had changed in 1 week. He had come to Earth as a conqueror. Now he would return home as a diplomat and a beggar. But if begging would save his empire from the fate of the Velok and the Zeth, then he would beg. The humans had taught the Korthax something important. Pride was not worth extinction. Tomorrow, he would meet with Dr. Chen and the United Earth Defense Council. He would offer the formal surrender of the Korthax Empire. He would apologize for the invasion. He would ask for forgiveness. And he would hope that the humans were as merciful as they were dangerous. Because if they were not, the Korthax Empire would soon join the Velok and the Zeth in the graveyard of species that had underestimated humanity. The thought kept him awake all night. The next morning, Commander Zek 9 walked into the conference room where Dr. Sarah Chen and the United Earth Defense Council were waiting. His steps were slow and heavy. In his hands, he carried a formal document that would change the history of the Korthax Empire forever. Dr. Chen noticed his expression immediately. "Commander, you look like you did not sleep well." "I did not," Zek 9 replied honestly. "I spent the night thinking about what I must do today." He placed the document on the table in front of Dr. Chen. The Korthax Imperial High Command has made their decision. We accept your offer of partnership. Dr. Chen picked up the document and read it carefully. The other council members leaned in to see it as well. This is very comprehensive, Professor Okafor noted. Your government has agreed to all of our terms. Yes, Zek-9 said. We will end all military conquest immediately. We will share our technology for peaceful purposes. We will help defend innocent worlds from aggressive empires. General Martinez nodded approvingly. And in exchange, you will receive human protection and access to our technology. There is one more thing, Zek-9 said quietly. The High Command has instructed me to make a formal apology to humanity for our invasion attempt. The room became very quiet. Dr. Chen set down the document and looked at Zek-9 with surprise. That is not necessary, Commander, she said gently. We understand that you were following orders. It is necessary, Zek-9 replied, for my people and for me. He stood up and walked to the center of the room. Then, to the shock of everyone present, he got down on his knees, his 6 arms spread wide in the traditional Korthax gesture of complete submission. Dr. Chen, members of the United Earth Defense Council, representatives of humanity, he began, his voice shaking with emotion. I, Commander Zek-9 of the Korthax Imperial Fleet, formally apologize for the unprovoked attack on your world. The humans in the room exchanged glances. They had never seen a proud Korthax warrior humble himself like this. We came to your planet believing you were weak and divided, Zek-9 continued. We intended to conquer your world, enslave your people, and steal your resources. We were wrong in every possible way. He looked up at Dr. Chen, his 6 eyes filled with something the humans had never seen in a Korthax before. Genuine remorse. You are not weak. You are the strongest species we have ever encountered. You are not divided. When threatened, you become more united than any empire in the galaxy. And your resources belong to you, earned through thousands of years of struggle and growth. Dr. Chen started to speak, but Zek-9 held up one of his hands. Please, let me finish. This is important for both our species. He took a deep breath and continued. In 3 days, you taught the Korthax Empire lessons that we had never learned in 1,000 years of conquest. You taught us that strength comes not from dominating others, but from protecting what you love. You taught us that unity achieved through choice is more powerful than unity forced through conquest. His voice grew stronger. Most importantly, you taught us that mercy can be more powerful than destruction. You could have followed our ships back to our home worlds and destroyed us completely. Instead, you offered us a chance to become better than we were. Admiral Nakamura leaned forward. Commander, please stand up. You do not need to humble yourself like this. Yes, I do, Zek-9 replied, but he stood up anyway. The Korthax Empire has spent centuries taking worlds from other species. We told ourselves it was our right because we were stronger. You have shown us how wrong we were. He walked back to the table and sat down. The High Command wants you to know that our surrender is complete and genuine. We are not looking for a way to rebuild our military and attack again. We are not secretly planning revenge. We want to learn from you how to be a better species. Dr. Chen smiled warmly. Commander, apology accepted, but I want you to understand something important. She stood up and walked around the table to face him directly. Humans do not want to rule the galaxy any more than we wanted to be ruled by you. We offer partnership because we believe that cooperation is better than conquest. The species under our protection are not our slaves, General Martinez added. They are our allies. The Drakmor Collective makes their own decisions about their government and their culture. We only require that they commit to peace. Professor Okafor nodded. In fact, the Drakmor have taught us many things. Their science has helped us develop new technologies. Their art has enriched our culture. Partnership benefits everyone. Zek-9 looked around the table at the human faces. A week ago, he had seen them as primitive enemies to be conquered. Now he saw them as something he had never expected, potential friends. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now we begin the hard work," Dr. Chen replied. "Converting your military into a peacekeeping force will take time. Learning to work together will require patience from both sides. Building trust after what has happened will not be easy." She sat back down and opened another document. "But we have done this before. The Drakmor transition took 2 years. We expect the Korthax transition will take about the same amount of time." "What about our colonies?" Zek-9 asked. "We have conquered hundreds of worlds. Any world that wants independence will get it," Admiral Nakamura said firmly. "Any world that wants to remain part of the Korthax system can do so, but only if they choose freely. And species that we have enslaved will be freed immediately," General Martinez replied. "That is not negotiable." Zek-9 nodded. "The High Command expected this. They have already begun sending orders to our colonial governors." Dr. Chen activated a holographic display showing star maps. "Commander, I want to show you something. This is what the galaxy looked like before humans became involved in interstellar politics." The display showed dozens of aggressive empires conquering and destroying smaller civilizations. Entire species were being wiped out or enslaved, and this is what it looks like now. The display changed. Most of the aggressive empires were gone. In their place were peaceful alliances and trade partnerships protected by human fleets. "Every empire we have encountered has made the same choice you are making now," Dr. Chen explained. "Peace and partnership, or isolation and eventual destruction. Most have chosen partnership." "What about the ones who chose destruction?" Zek-9 asked, though he was afraid of the answer. "They no longer exist," Professor Okafor said simply. "But we gave them every chance to choose differently." The display showed the current state of human-protected space. Dozens of species working together, sharing technology and resources, defending each other from outside threats. "This is what we are offering you," Dr. Chen said. "A chance to be part of something bigger than conquest and domination. A chance to help build a galaxy where species cooperate instead of destroying each other." Zek-9 studied the display. "It looks peaceful." "It is peaceful," Admiral Nakamura confirmed. "But it is also strong. Any empire that tries to attack one of our partners must face all of us together." "And it is growing," General Martinez added. "Every year more species choose to join our alliance. The age of conquest is ending, Commander. The age of cooperation is beginning." Zek-9 felt something he had never experienced before. Hope for a future that did not involve endless war and conquest. "Dr. Chen," he said quietly, "I have one more request." "What is it, Commander?" "When I return to my empire, I will need to explain to our people why this partnership is good for us. Many Korthax have spent their entire lives as warriors. They will not understand peace easily." Dr. Chen nodded. "We expected this. We would like to send a delegation to your homeworlds to help with the transition. Humans who have worked with other species before. And," Professor Okafor added, "we would like to invite young Korthax to study on Earth and on Drakmor worlds. Education exchanges help build understanding between species." Zek-9 felt his heart's lift. "You would welcome our children to your worlds after we tried to conquer you?" "Commander," Dr. Chen said with a smile, "your children are the future of your species. If we can teach them that cooperation is better than conquest, then we will have succeeded in making the galaxy a safer place for everyone." She stood up and extended her small human hand toward him. "Welcome to the Alliance, Commander Zek-9. Welcome to peace." Zek-9 looked at the offered hand. Such a small gesture, but it represented everything that had changed in the past week. He reached out with one of his 6 hands and gently shook hers. "Thank you, Dr. Chen," he said. Thank you for showing us a better way. As he prepared to return to his ship and begin the journey home, Zek-9 thought about how he would explain everything to his people. He would tell them about human strength and human mercy. He would tell them about the choice between conquest and cooperation. Most importantly, he would tell them that the Korthax Empire had not been defeated. They had been saved. Saved from becoming another extinct species that had underestimated humanity. Saved from a future of endless war and destruction. Saved by a species that chose to offer partnership instead of revenge. The great Korthax Empire, conqueror of 500 worlds, was about to become something it had never been before. A force for peace in the galaxy, and it was all because they had tried to conquer Earth, and the humans had taught them a better way.